This is not about productivity. It is about control. And if that sounds dramatic, stay with me for the next few minutes. Because everything we have discussed in this series, the layoffs, the timeline, the productivity myth, the junior death spiral, the compression, all of it points to something bigger than career advice. It points to a fundamental restructuring of who holds power in the economy, and nobody is talking about it. Welcome back to Code Sunset. I am Ethan Cole. This is episode 8, the final episode in this series, and I have saved the most important topic for last. Because if you only think about AI in terms of whether you personally keep your job, you are missing the bigger picture. The real cost of AI is not measured in layoffs. It is measured in what happens to the balance of power when human labor becomes optional. Let us start with the first order effect: fewer workers producing more output. We covered this in episode 3. AI increases productivity, companies capture that gain as cost reduction, and headcount shrinks. But zoom out. What does that look like at an economy-wide scale? In the 20th century, technology created more jobs than it destroyed. The assembly line eliminated craftsmen but created factory workers. The computer eliminated typists but created programmers. Each wave of automation displaced specific roles, but generated new categories of work that absorbed the displaced labor. That was the pattern for 100 years. And it is the pattern that economists cite when they say AI will be no different. But here is why this time might actually be different. Previous waves of automation targeted physical or routine cognitive tasks. AI targets general cognitive work. It can write, reason, code, analyze, create, and communicate. The new jobs it creates, AI engineering, model training, AI product management, require higher skill levels and exist in smaller numbers. We are not creating a new factory floor. We are creating a new penthouse suite. And most people cannot get in. This leads to the second effect: skill polarization. The gap between the engineers who can leverage AI effectively and those who cannot is widening rapidly. The top 10%, the ones with systems thinking, cross-domain judgment, and deep AI fluency, will earn more than ever. They are more productive, more valuable, and harder to replace. The other 90% face stagnation or displacement. There is no comfortable middle ground. You are either above the AI capability line and working with it, or below it and being replaced by it. We have seen this before in smaller doses. Globalization created a similar polarization. High-skill knowledge workers thrived. Manufacturing workers in developed nations were displaced. The benefits accrued to those with capital and specialized skills. AI is doing the same thing but faster, broader, and to the knowledge workers themselves. Now the third effect, and this is the one that keeps me up at night: wealth concentration. When a company can generate the same revenue with 300 employees instead of 3,000, where does the money go? It does not get distributed to the displaced workers. It goes to shareholders, executives, and the small team that remains. The profit margin expands. The wealth concentrates. Look at the numbers. In 2010, the 3 biggest companies in Detroit employed about 250,000 people and had a combined revenue of around $250 billion. In 2025, the 3 biggest companies in Silicon Valley employ a fraction of that workforce relative to their revenue. Apple, Microsoft, and Alphabet generate trillions in combined revenue with a much higher revenue per employee ratio. AI accelerates this trend dramatically. When you need fewer humans to generate the same output, the economic value flows upward, not outward, upward. When labor becomes optional, power consolidates. That is not a political statement. It is a mathematical one. Power in a market economy comes from leverage. Workers have leverage when their labor is scarce and necessary. When AI makes labor abundant and partially optional, that leverage evaporates. Companies gain negotiating power. Workers lose it. Salaries stagnate. Benefits erode. Job security disappears. And the wealth generated by AI-enhanced productivity accumulates at the top. The fourth effect is economic restructuring. Entire business models are changing. Consulting firms that build for junior analysts are restructuring. Agencies that sold development hours are shrinking. Outsourcing firms that employed thousands of developers in lower-cost markets are seeing their value proposition undercut by AI tools that any company can use directly. The economic infrastructure built around human software labor is being dismantled. And here's what I need you to understand. AI is not evil. It is economic gravity. Gravity is not malicious. It does not intend to pull things down. It just does. AI is not targeting your job out of hostility. It is simply cheaper, faster, and increasingly capable. And the economic system we live in optimizes ruthlessly for efficiency. When a more efficient option exists, the market adopts it. That is not a conspiracy. That is how markets work. So where does that leave you? You can fear it. Or you can position yourself above the collapse layer. The collapse layer is where predictable, repeatable work gets automated. Below it, you are vulnerable. Above it, you are leveraged. Everything we discussed in this series, the skills AI cannot replace, the systems thinking, the cross-domain judgment, the business translation, these are your tools for staying above that line. I want to be clear. I am not offering false hope. Not everyone will make it above the collapse layer. That is the uncomfortable truth. But understanding where the line is, seeing it clearly, gives you the best possible chance. And that has been the entire purpose of this series. Not to scare you, not to sell you a course, just to show you the landscape as honestly as I can. If this series helped you think clearly, subscribe. Because clarity beats panic. Every single time. Clarity does not guarantee survival, but panic guarantees bad decisions. And right now, the worst thing you can do is make decisions based on how the industry used to work. The sunset is here. See it clearly. And build accordingly. That was Series 1. Understanding the landscape. But understanding is not enough. In Series 2, we go tactical. 8 episodes on what to actually do. We will expose companies hiding behind AI as an excuse. We will look at what happens when AI deployment actually works. We will cover career pivots, the freelance collapse, why distribution beats talent, and what is coming for your salary. And in the final episode, a 12-month playbook, no theory, just moves. Series 2 is coming. Subscribe so you do not miss it. I am Ethan Cole, and this has been Code Sunset.